So you can go ahead.
Okay. For me, graphic design, what I understand by graphic design is telling a story using pictures to tell a story.
That is
So that's
wonderful.
how I.
Francis, I saw your hand up before. Or you shy, or they have said what you want to say. Are you Mr. Francis, or which of the Francis are you? Francis does not want to speak again. Okay, let's get into it. All right. So, introduction to graphic design. What's okay, Martins? Martins, you can speak.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh, from my own perspective, I consider graphic design as the representation of information in pictorial form.
Powerful. That's correct. Thank you. So we like to say that in design, there's no wrong answers, right? So somebody have said pictorial form, somebody have said passing of message, someone that said bringing items together. All these are kind of the information that we are talking about, all right? So you can take notes, all right? But also the notes I'll be using for teaching, I promise I'll be sending it to the group also, right? So that you can see everything that I've said all over and you can study through them. But there are some things I'm going to say that are not also in my teaching or guide notes, right? So take notes if you want to, or you just wait for the recording and also whatever we have. Okay, Francis, you are back. You're the last person I'm waiting for to give and definition. Are you
Sorry,
speaking
sir.
now?
My network took me off. Okay,
Sorry.
what I understand by graphic design is that graphic design is actually the art of practice of communication ideas, messages, and value through visuals.
All right, that's good. Thank you. So there's a question here in the chat box. Said, please, I have a question. You made a mention that we're using CorelDRAW. I don't have initial but downloaded now and require subscription. My question is, does the organization give us code for the subscription? No, the organization does not give you code for subscription. All right, I'm recording now, but it's a free class, right? So the class is lasting for 2 weeks. So if you have CorelDRAW, definitely your CorelDRAW will last for at least a month, right? So you can use it for the class. But also, I know that we're in Nigeria and most persons are using cracked versions, right? So you can get a cracked version, which is not ideal, but you can get a cracked version from Get Into PC. There's a video I sent to the group, right? Getintopc.com, right? Getintopc.com. So this website, you can get almost, I believe everyone can still see my screen, right? Any software you want from here. So if you say
Yes, yes.
CorelDRAW, right? CorelDRAW. So if you search for CorelDRAW, there are different types: 2024, 2020, 2022, 2021. Whatsoever one you want, they are all available here. So you download them. If you want to download, you click on this and you go downwards. And you see this download 64 bits. Now, when you download it, it will come as a zipped file, right? A zip file. So you have to unzip the file. So if you don't know what unzip is, you can go to YouTube and check what unzip is. But please, you should know that. If you don't know that, just Google about unzip. So you unzip the file. Then to unzip, if to ask you for a password, the password is 123. Then you can install. So when installing, make sure your internet is off, right? Remember, I said what you are installing is a cracked version. And when we are saying that is just because you're not working commercially, and we're just doing it for the class. So put off your internet and install. But when downloading, your internet should be on, right? Then that's all. But in case you don't get any of these, there's a video guide how to install this software. You click here and you will see the video and you watch. I sent the video to the group. I guess I sent the video to the group. This is the video. You can watch it and you get it installed. Or an alternative and the best way, don't stress yourself. Take your computer to either a computer village where they install softwares and tell them you need Photoshop and CorelDRAW. And if you want, you can also get Adobe Illustrator. But we'll not be using that in this class, right? So just these two basic ones, CorelDRAW and Photoshop, and you are good to go, right? Please, I'll ask you something. When we are hosting the class, I won't be having time to open my WhatsApp, right? So if you're sending me a WhatsApp message right now, I might not be able to respond to you right now, all right? And this brings me to another point. When an assignment is given, please don't send it to my DM. Please, I beg you in the name of Jesus Christ. Please post it in the group. Like I said, we are a community. We are trying to help each other grow. So if somebody sends the assignments on the group, it motivates other people to try to do their own also, right? So, and when you send it to the group and you are confused, don't wait for me to respond, right? When you post to the group, any other person from here can respond. Some people can say, good job, try this way, try that way. So I want people to like communicate with each other, make friends with yourself. So later on, I can now come in and respond, right? So when you come, somebody posts an assignment, clap for the person and stuff like that. But please don't send it to my DM unless it's very, 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 very important, because I'm a very, very busy person. Currently, before I was working freelancing remotely from my house or maybe from my office hub, but currently I'm working a full-time job, right? I'm currently in a secular area to do this class for you guys, 3 to 5, right? So please, a whole lot of things are on my head. So if you send me a private message, I might not respond to you immediately, right? So, but if you post it in the group, in fact, I made it part of my duty that I should check my WhatsApp group every time, right? So because of you guys, somebody said, "What if I don't have laptop?" Right? I said in the beginning that it's laptop you're using, right? But if you don't have a laptop, you can just follow through. I believe before this year ends or before next year, you will get a laptop. And that is why I decided to use YouTube. So the videos that we did in this class, you will definitely find in our YouTube channel, whatever time you go back to it. And God will help you. You might have a friend that has a laptop, right? You can meet them, get stuff installed in their laptop and practice, right? But if you don't have anyone like that, let's say you're using a phone, right? So people can get Canva, so people can get Pixel Lab. But I wouldn't be teaching you how to use Canva and Pixel Lab, right? But if you are conversant with those ones, you can try learn how to draw a box and stuff like that. So just practice with the phone for the time being. So there are tutorials online on how to use Canva and Pixel Lab to design. So you can just try them out. But professionally, we prefer using a laptop. Why? Being that, let's say you're applying for a job at a firm, like let's say at Facebook or maybe at Microsoft, and you want to be their designer. You wouldn't go to the interview with your phone, right? That you design with phones. You would have to come in with a good laptop. Some might even say Apple, right? So we are creating standard designers here, not just anyhow designers. Martins, you have a question again?
And it's just concerning something towards the end of this program. Is that going to be an internship?
Is that going to be what?
An internship?
From the information I have, the class is 2 weeks class, right? Now,
Yes.
me, I'm a designer, right? So there are some of my students that I'm still in communication with them up to now, right? So those are the kind of the students that do my assignments, students that attend the class, students that try to do classworks, follow up through with the class. Those kind of students, if they reach out to me on my DM, I can kind of be like a mentor to them, help them out in where they want me to help them. But I don't know if there's an internship. But at this right, I think last month they employed. In fact, the guy that conducted you guys in your group before I sent my message, the first guy, he was a student at this right? He learned data analysis and now he's working with the company, right? So from time to time, most times we employ our students, right, to work at the NGO company at fire service, right? So it just depends on how good you are, and for them to even employ you is going to depend on the tutor that taught you, right? So the tutor that is going to recommend that, okay, this person did very well, and you can intern with the company with the skill that you have learned, right? And currently what we're running is this just digital skill employment program. I'm thinking from next year, the organization is thinking about Swami, right? So Swami is a different program that's coming up, which is study with a mentor. But that one wouldn't be free. I think it's a paid class, which will last for just 2 weeks, but for 3 months. And I think is a physical class this time instead of online. So that's just the information I have right now concerning this. So the best thing I would advise now is after our 2 classes, whatever class we have, you keep on practicing, right? So when you keep on practicing, you have issues. That is when you can reach out to me and say, I'm trying to do this, I can't do this, right? So that way or that way, I'm helping you. All right. So I hope no more questions because I want to like get into my own definition.
Okay.
All right. So your hands is still raised up. Just help me and remove it because it's confusing me. All right. Let's get to the class. Definition of graphic design. So graphic design is the art and practice of visual communication. The art and practice of visual communication. So when we say art and practice, what do we mean? So arts. So if I say art and art, so art is like a form of creativity, right? People being creative and coming up with something. So music is a form of art. Script writing is a form of art. Even people that do comedy, they are kind of creative also, right? So all these things are form of art. So graphic design in itself is also a form of art. Most people have thought that where should we classify graphic design? Should we say graphic design is tech? So if you're saying tech, we're talking about writing codes or creating technology stuff. So should we call it tech or should we call it art? But we can say that they can work simultaneously, right? So we are artistic, but we are still in the tech industry, right? So because if you're looking at my screen right now, this this is the user interface of this, which was done on Figma or maybe on Adobe XD. It was done by a designer, right? So there was a time where there were no UI UX was not that popular, right? All we had were guys that just write code. Like when I was writing front end development using HTML and CSS, we had to just write the code ourselves, and most times it might not look beautiful. Now, the reason why my own website was looking a bit beautiful was because I was a graphic designer and I had understanding of arranging of text, box sizes, and color harmony, color wheel. I knew all those. So I could apply my sense of writing code into design. So my website could look fine. That's why you look at Facebook, you see blue where there should be blue, there's white where should be white. Facebook is not looking like rainbow, right? Or even WhatsApp, right? So we now had to now get UI UX designers. So UI UX designers are like graphic designers. So they will design how the interface looks like without using a code. Then they will send this to the guys who write with code. And with code, those guys would also design. That's why I said website designers are kind of still designers because they are designing stuff, right? So if you look at the logos, we have Gmail, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, or whatever icon you're seeing there. These icons did not fall from sky. They were designed by a graphic designer. In fact, this chat box, this whatever is here, I can redesign them for you guys in this class. So let's see how our class will run before today runs off. I'll show you that we can create everything you're seeing on this screen inside of CorelDRAW, right? We can create everything there. Now, the reason why I say I can create that is because I've already learned the skill, right? So I tell people most times that graphic design is not really about the software you're using, right? So it's not about, there's always a war online between who use Photoshop and CorelDRAW. I think that was like 2 years ago. Now the war has shifted to people who use Canva and Pixel Lab and that and that and that. So basically, it's not really about the software, right? Though the software is also important, but it's really, really about you. I tell people most times, graphic design can be taught, but creativity itself cannot be taught, right? So it's when you learn the skill and you now start applying it, you keep applying it, right? Like the definition says, is the art and practice of visual communication. So when you keep practicing over time, you keep getting better, right? So then you now decide, okay, I've learned how to design using CorelDRAW. Okay, let me now start designing using Adobe Illustrator. Let me design using Photoshop. So those things are just there to add to your portfolio so that when you apply for a job, you can tell them, okay, I can use all these softwares. So there are some companies, they strictly work with Adobe Suite. Some work with Affinity, right? Some people still even design with Figma, not just making other applications or websites. Some people design flyers and stuff using Figma, right? So as a designer, as you keep growing, you can decide to learn all these kind of tools. You can decide to learn Adobe After Effects, which will not make logo animations and stuff like that, right? So I just said in the form of art and practice of visual communication. Now, how do we do this? By combining texts, images, and colors to convey messages and ideas, right? So graphic designer basically is a form of communication. All this grammar that are packed everywhere like this, graphic design is a form of communication, right? And how do we communicate this? By using text, images and colors to convey our messages and ideas. So like I said, convey our message and ideas. So if you're on Instagram, you can search for Tool Studios. That's their name, Tool Studios. It's a graphic design Instagram account, but they don't design. They only talk about history of design, graphic designers. So if you look at history of design, you find out that most of designers, they were like activists. They use their design to like fight. Okay, for example, NSAS, Black Lives Matter, right? So these guys, they came out by being activists, right? So we use design to pass out messages. For instance, when we did NSAS in Instagram everywhere, everybody uploaded black picture on their story to just send out that message. So we use graphic design to send a message. Now, who's that? Please hold on. All right, I'm back like I never left. Very dark man is here. Let's continue where I stopped. All right, so I said we use to combine texts, images, and colors to convey messages and ideas. So that's why most times, even when you don't have a client, you can create your own personal projects, right? But most times, designers feel that it's always when you have, bro, there are times you won't have a client. And because you don't have a client, and you now say, okay, you will not design. So if you don't have a client and you don't design, it will decline your design sense. Wow, see what I mean? All right, so importance of graphic designs. So graphic design play a very crucial role in various industries, right? So I tell people that graphic designers are needed in every industry, all right? So whether it is in a school, in a church, in the music industry, whatsoever, a graphic designer is needed. So that's why there was a time where graphic designers were looked down on, right? But as time went on and more tech firms, I think it is when these tech guys now started coming, these guys that create apps, applications, that we started making more money because these guys, they understand our value more. Now, there's a difference when I'm designing a logo for a lady that sells perfume or a lady that sells hair or whatever like that. And there's a difference when I'm designing for a guy who is creating his own software. Just imagine I'm designing a logo for someone that wants to create a software that look like Facebook. How much do you think I'm going to charge him? Right? So there are people who sell clothes. They might not even really understand what I'm offering them, right? So that's why we not get into packaging and different kind of price range that we charge different clients. So as a graphic designer, you should know that you play a very, very crucial role in the industry. So where are we needed? Graphic designer is needed in advertising, we are needed in marketing, we are needed in branding, we are needed in web design, and we are also needed in the print media, right? So advertising, every company, every brand does advertisement. The only brand that doesn't do advertisement in this world is Gary and Pure Water. Gary and Pure Water. Every other brand does adverts one way or the other, whether they're doing it online or they're doing it physically or by word of mouth, right? So no matter how Coca-Cola has made money in this life, anytime you're watching Premier League matches, you will definitely see a Coca-Cola advert pop up. And that design that you're seeing there was done by a graphic designer, right? So a graphic designer, in fact, there is no office that doesn't need a graphic designer. Even in the mortuary, a graphic designer is needed because their banner there, somebody has to design it, right? We are also needed in marketing. So like I said, advertising cannot go without marketing, right? You're needed in branding, in web design, and print media. Examples of logos, we have Nike, Apple, posters, brochures, websites, social media graphics. Now let's get into the role of a graphic designer. So we need to understand all this before we now get into the so, because some persons just saw this link and decided to register, right? So if you get to understand who a graphic designer is, you can say, okay, do I want to invest into this, or do I want to make it a side gig? Like I said, I am a graphic, I don't have any other job. Graphic design is my work. All right. So graphic design, what graphic designers, they communicate. So we say conveying message and ideas through visual elements. So what are visual elements? When we say visual elements, what do we mean? So let's take, for example, this was a thumbnail I designed for the last YouTube tutorial I made for my student from the last class, right? So I wanted to convey a message that these are what would be inside the YouTube video, and you see how I made the design. So we said through visual elements and through branding, creating and maintaining brand identity through logos and color. So if you see in here, let me go closer so you understand what I'm saying. Some people still trying to join. Wow. Let me admit this person's. So here was the logo I made for the class, which is called TechForge, right? TechForge. I think I made a video recently for it on my YouTube and stuff like that. You would realize that we have a brand pattern here. So something like what we call a brand pattern. And even on the clothes of the lady, we have the logos there. We have it on the bag, on the phone, on the watch. I'm going to show you guys later on how all these are done, right? Here in CorelDRAW, how we did everything completely. And we made a poster. So if you see, even their social media posts, wherever it is posted, you're going to see the same font type, the same logo, the same colors. There's no way this brand will make a design you'll be seeing purple, right? The reason is because we created a brand guideline for them, and this brand guideline is going to show the clients that, okay, this is the colors that you are meant to use forever and ever, unless they are rebranding, and that rebranding must be for a purpose, right? Then we are needed in marketing, so to create advertisements, brochures, and digital media campaigns. I already said we are needed in web design for designing user-friendly, visual appealing websites and in print media. So let's now do introduction to CorelDRAW, right? Why are we using CorelDRAW? Right? Why are we using it? Right? So we're going to look at the overview of CorelDRAW. So CorelDRAW is a vector-based design software, right? So somebody might say, what is vector? What do we mean by vector-based? Right? So I'll explain that in few seconds. So they are ideal for logos, illustrations, and print materials. So if we are saying vector, so vector designs are elements in design that are made up of shapes, made up of numbers. They are made up of numbers, right? So that's what we mean. So what does vector mean? Vector graphics, they are scalable and they don't lose quality. Now let me show you an example of what I mean. So I'm going to get a picture. I think. Let me just look for any picture down here. So look at this. I'm going to copy this same green. Right. So now this is a box that I drew here, and this is the picture. Right. So this particular one that I drew here that has color. So you see, when I click on this box, we can see the color here, color green, and the outline is black. But for this one, this is a picture. It doesn't have the color. So you see none, right? So now, yeah, what I'm saying, if I should zoom into this picture, and you see that I've zoomed closer to this, it starts, the green become pixelated, right? You see it become rough. You can also try it in your phone. If you have a picture, even though you snap it on iPhone, there's an extent you will zoom into that picture and you start seeing pixels like this, right? But now let's look at this one that is a vector image. So if I zoom in, there's no point I'm going to zoom into this picture that is going to lose quality. Look at the zoom level, 240,000. I'm still zooming in and it's still showing properly, right? So this is the reason why we design with CorelDRAW. So an alternate to CorelDRAW would be Adobe Illustrator. Now there are designers that design with Photoshop, but me, I don't advise that, right? Photoshop, from the name, is called Adobe Photoshop, right? It's mainly for photo editing, photo retouch, photo manipulations, like creating crazy stuffs, right? But you can use Photoshop to design. Don't get me wrong. Photoshop can be used for design, but it is best for editing. So we have the Adobe family and we have the CorelDRAW family. Even under CorelDRAW, we still have an app that works like Photoshop, right? But CorelDRAW itself is used for illustration, logo designs. Like it is best for that. Now, the only one you can use from the Adobe family that can work as CorelDRAW is Adobe Illustrator, right? In fact, if you even download Adobe Illustrator, you'll see that him and CorelDRAW, they have like basically similar interface, like the same commands, but maybe a bit different, but they work in the same way. So if you are looking towards vector designs, looking towards making designs like this kind of cartoon characters, Illustrator are better, and maybe CorelDRAW. Then for page layouts, right, it's suitable for designing brochures, flyers, and print materials. And it has versatile tools, right? All these tools here, we are going to get into them. You understand how they work and how they make your work easy. All right. Introduction to the course. So we have to understand graphic design principles and elements, master CorelDRAW for vector-based design graphics, develop proficiency in Photoshop and image editing, apply typography, color theory, composition effectively in design, create visually captivating design for various mediums, build a basic design process from concept development to final execution, then create a professional portfolio, right? So this I just run through all we will do before this 2 weeks runs out. So I would need you all to be on social media, right? So the fact that you're on WhatsApp is one step, right? Me, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on YouTube. I'm on LinkedIn, right? So spread your horizon. And one of the assignments from the company is for the students to follow them on LinkedIn, because when we do work here, you have to like show it on LinkedIn so that they'll know that we are doing something. All right. So let's get into this. So I'm going to close down this CorelDRAW, right? So after installing CorelDRAW, it's going to create a shortcut on your screen here. So as you can see, there's CorelDRAW here, there's Corel Photo Paint. So as I say, Photo Paint is just like Photoshop. Corel Photo Paint, Corel Capture, Corel Connect, Corel Font Manager. This one manages your font. So what you are opening is this one. So basically, how to open your software is the same way everywhere, right? Either you double tap using left click, or you right click on the particular software and you're going to see open. So you click on open, you either click enter or you tap on it, right? So I wouldn't do that because I already have my CorelDRAW open here already, right? So when you open that, the first thing you're going to see is the CorelDRAW is going to bring you to the home, right? This is your home. This button I have here. So mine is not showing that yet because I've already opened some pages, but I've tapped on it. It's going to load back now. So when the home page opens, which is the welcome screen, it's called the welcome screen, you're going to see new updates. You're going to see your recent jobs, and you're going to see if you want to connect to online to run some stuffs. Nigga, why are you slowing down? Let's just give me a minute. Oh. All right, this is our welcome screen. So we have get started, and we have a workspace, and we have what's new, and we have learning gallery, and so on and so forth. So if you should connect your internet, you can learn from, there are some tutorials that CorelDRAW have here, but I won't advise you to put on your internet. Put on your internet, your CorelDRAW, if it's not paid for, it can be flagged, right? So my internet is on currently. So when you're putting on the CorelDRAW, for those who are using cracked versions for the class, when you're putting it on, make sure your internet is off. Then when it has loaded up like this, you can put back your internet on, right? And I won't stress on this again because some persons might install and later tell me that my CorelDRAW is not opening anymore. It's because it has been flagged, right? So before, Photoshop wasn't even really disturbing, but currently Photoshop users are also having that issue whereby you're getting flagged and your Photoshop won't open anymore. Like I said, this is get started. So get started is the first place you're going to see where we have new documents, new from templates, open documents. So new document means you want to open a new page entirely. So a shortcut for that is Control N. So either you click on Control N or you click on new document. Whatever one you click is going to open a new page for you, right? Now we have new from templates. So like I said, if you're using like phone apps like Canva or Pixel Lab, there are some templates. That's why recently all these people that used to say perfume and stuff, they were all having like the same kind of flyers, right? Because they don't want to pay good designers who will charge them high. So they look for people that can charge peanuts. And the guy will just take a template, edit it, and another person comes there. So in phone self, some of these guys that were selling these stuff, they are deciding to attend design class. They didn't understand what design was. They just understood how to use Canva, and people were just making a mess of design. In fact, I was sad. I wasn't sad because I wasn't getting them as my clients. I was sad because they are doing they are doing design like this. I was angry, right? And logo itself, they were just looking for backgrounds, mock-ups, and saying this is a logo. I was like, what is going on? So templates also are here, right? So if you click on new from templates, you find templates of other designers, other flyers, and you can just change, and do. But we don't do that yet. We do our own from scratch. Come up with our ideas and pour it in, right? So I said you can open a new document by clicking here, or you can click on Control N. So you should know Control N in your Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel. Control N always mean new page, right? So either you click on new document or you click on file. So CorelDRAW gives us a lot of options. So we can use new from templates, open. So you can use open if you already have a document that you opened already, but we don't have. All right. So if you see open recent, it will show us new recent jobs that we've worked on. All right. So now, before we open a new document, I want us to do something. We are going to go to our documents. So I'm going to open a new document. So we're going to open a folder. So I advise people most times to not place stuff on their desktop. So if you look at my desktop here right now, you realize that all I have are my applications, right? Any other thing that is not application will not be allowed to be here. Even this folder you're seeing leads to my documents. Because if you have so much stuff, I've seen somebody desktop that the whole screen is covered and it's feeling like a tech guy. That's nonsense, right? So only your applications should be here. Some screens say, if possible, get them all off because it will make your desktop load very slowly, right? So there's a reason the person that created the computer called it documents, right? So go into your documents. So inside of our documents, we are going to create a folder, right? So I'm going to open Joshua, right? So you see for my previous class, C10, this is their own folder. So for every class, I create a folder, right? So let's create your own folder. So to create a folder, I believe we know how to create a folder. So let's just do it. Right click, you see new, then look for folder. So let me get your class name. The class name is called design class C12, right? So let's say C12 design class. So you can use C12 or you can just name your own, my design class, right? Since you are doing it in your own computer or in your phone, whatsoever, my design class. So inside of this, my design class, we're going to create some folders, right? So I like everything being arranged. So even my downloads, I don't like them being in my download folder here. I like to create a new folder for my download documents. So create a new folder and name it downloads inside of here also. So you see documents, Joshua, C12 design class, then downloads is inside. So our CorelDRAW file will be saved here. Right, so we can create another folder again. That folder will name it assignments. So for whatever assignments we do, we are going to save them inside of here. We'll save all our assignments inside of here, right? And when we are done, we'll post it inside of our graphics design group, right? So now that I've done all this, I'm going to go back to my CorelDRAW. So let me go back to home. So let's create a new document. So like I told you, you can use Control N, we can use new document, we can use file. whatever one. So let's click on new. So whatever you have worked on, as you can see, is recent, is what is going to be showing here. So we say new documents. So when you click on new document, you click on control and this would come up, right? Now you can name the document here, but I don't like doing that, right? Because you don't know where it's going to just go and save in documents, because I want to save it in my own folder that I created inside of the document, right? So now then we have preset destination, right? Leave it at custom, the size, leave it as it is. Unless you want to select A4, A5, since you already know the names, but most times we might not select all this. So it's been very long. I even designed for someone in A5, right? Because most of my designs, most times, are not even mostly printed. They are mainly digital. People post it on their social media accounts. Like I also manage social media account for clients that I work on. So I basically design and I post it there. So all I need to do, okay, we want to post for Instagram. What is the ratio or the frame for an Instagram post? Then we get the size and input it here, right? So here we have a measurement which is inches, millimeters, pixels, points, pixels, whatsoever. But the measurement I use most times, I prefer to use inches, right? Because inches is a bit small and not too large. And why I can use inches without fearing is because we are using CorelDRAW. Like I said, CorelDRAW is a vector based design software. So if I should design a document and I go to measure a banner and the banner size is 10 feet by 10 feet, I can easily come on my software here. Now, instead of using feet, this is feet here, which is the measurement I used, I can use inches. Now look at the difference. Look at feet here. If the measurement is 10 feet by 10 feet, right? Now look at 10 feet, how big it is. You won't realize how big it is until I change it to inches. So I say inches. Look at it, 120 inches by 120 inches. So depending on your PC, some people have a very rugged PC, like Alienware's, a Mac, or whatever kind of Lenovo Legion. So your PC can run it where you have hard drive and SSD, powerful. But there's some people PC that before it runs, it's very, very slow, right? So instead of using feet, you have measured in feet. Yes, the feet measurement is 10 by 10 feet. You can now come to inches and make it also 10 by 10. Because when they want to print it, if they scale it up, it's going to become bigger and still not lose quality, right? Reason being that the design that you made is a vector-based design. Now, the only place you might have issues might be the picture. Maybe there's a model in the design. That's why when designing for clients, we ask them to employ the service of a professional photographer to take them quality pictures so that no matter the size of the design, their picture will also show well on the design. Now, where we are not using photographers and we have to download pictures, fine. We have websites where we download pictures for free or also paid pictures, right? So after you do 10 by 10, I'm not using 10 by 10. I'm going to leave it as 15 by 11. All right. Just let's use that for now. I'm not going to use a stagnant number. Then number of pages. So if you already know how many pages you're going to create, maybe you're going to create 20 pages. You can come here and say 20 pages, right? But we're just going to leave it at just one page, because if I create 20 pages, there are some things I need to teach you that I wouldn't tell you later. Then the primary color. So we have RGB and CMYK, right? RGB, red, green, and blue, or cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Now, RGB is the color that you should select. Why? Because we are designing for screen currently, right? So when we design for screen, we use RGB, but if for printing, we use CMYK. And CMYK is for printing, while RGB is for screen. So if you are designing for a client and they are not printing, the best color to go to is RGB. When you make an RGB and you export and send to your phone, you are going to see the exact color that you are seeing on your screen, right? But if you use CMYK colors and send to your phone, you'll be seeing red here, but the red will be showing how you want it, right? Now, most times I even design completely, even for print on RGB, right? Because the kind of printers, we have advanced printers nowadays, whereby you can do the mixing of colors. I'm not a printer, right? But I have some ideas. So maybe sometimes I can send my CorelDRAW file and the printer will change the setting for it to come out in CMYK, right? But when we are designing now, everybody should select RGB. Then the rendering resolution, we'll leave it at 300. Don't change it, right? Then the preview mode is in enhanced already. All these other ones, they are already set. There's no need checking them or changing how they look like. Then the next thing you do is OK. You click on OK and you wait for it to load. Then you have the screen. So everybody can still hear me, right? So as the class is still going on, if you have any question, you just alert me, right? Don't just watch. So if you have any question, I won't fight you. In fact, I cannot fight you because you are not here, right? You are in your house. I don't know, maybe you are even eating rice right now, right? I don't know. So, but if you have a question, as you can see, for me to know you have a question, I have to check the chat box and check. But when I'm designing on my screen, I won't know that you have a question unless you just put on your mic quickly and say, excuse me, you didn't get something, all right? So let's get back to this. So now when you now do that finish, you will have a screen like this, right? So now you can see I have new vision here, I have C10 graphics here, and I have untitled. So untitled means that we have not saved this page. Now you might be using a laptop, bro, or sis, or uncle, or auntie. Please don't trust your laptop every time. Sometimes your laptop can, it will shock you, right? So try to save. Even this laptop has shocked me most times, right? Save most times. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to save. So to save is typically the same way. Control S, which is for saving. So, or you go to file and you will see save, or you see save as. So you can say save is not showing yet because we have not saved it in a destination. So save as, Control Shift S, which is save it with a name. But if I should use my keyboard and I say Control S, it's going to save also. All right. You guys know me. So let's use save as. So save as is going to take us to documents. So I'm going to go into Joshua. So look at your documents here. Look for Joshua, or look for whatever you called yours also. Then the folder we created. So you see it here, C12 DSEP. I'm going to open it. You see, this is our assignment. So this is where we'll be saving our assignment. Whatever we download for a project, we'll save it in here. But we won't open them outside here. Now, when we save CorelDRAW, we save with CDR, which is the extension. It's already there. I don't need changing it. I just clicked it so that you can see it. Like for pictures, you know, people say send me JPEG, right? So JPEG is the extension for picture. For Photoshop, it's PSD, right? I don't know for others. Adobe Illustrator is AI, right? So if you click here, you see a lot of them. Everybody have their own shortcut, right? So we are using CDR. Don't change it. All right. So we are now going to name the file. So let's say C12 design class. C12 design class. Then we can click save. Now, let's say this version I'm using is version 2018. So if you borrowed somebody's system and the CorelDRAW they have there is CorelDRAW 2024, fine, you can work there. But if you save it on your flash, maybe you not get your own PC. I want to send to your PC, it won't open unless you have 2024. Now the thing you can do is when saving it from the person's flash, you go to the version and you look for your own here, right? 2018 or 2017, whatever one you have on your own PC, change the version and save so that when you put it in your own PC, it can open. All right. But if you are working directly on your own PC, no need for all this. So we'll now say save. You can click on enter or you click on just save. Then you chill. Look for small mango juice and drink. Then when you've saved, you now have the name here, C12 design class .cdr. So now we've created our first page. This is your first page. All right. So now we'll now introduce how to use this software. Right. You won't get everything today, but as we go on, if you have used 1 hour, we have 1 hour left. Not even up to 1 hour, I guess. 1 minute I've gone. So how do we use this software? How do we use this software? So I've introduced file. So file is basically for save, to open new documents, close them, save as template. So you can design as a graphic designer. You don't have a client. You can design a project, save it as a template, and sell it, right? So most times people don't know that they can make money in graphic design in various ways, right? So you can design, save as a template, and sell for people who don't have strength. Or maybe you design, save as a template, and send to your clients so that they can be editing it themselves. You understand? Then we have acquire image, and we have search content. We have import. So import is used for importing images into your canvas to work. Then we have export. So now export is not showing because we have not done any design. So for instance, we drew a box here. If I click on file, you see export now. So export is the tool we use for exporting whatever we have designed out to become either in a picture form, in a PDF form, in AI form, in a PNG format, whatsoever form, right? Then we have send to Bluetooth device, to a zip folder, create a shortcut, and so on and so forth. Publish to PDF, and then we have print. In case you want to print, which is Control P, which is used for printing, right? As simple as that. Then I won't touch a lot of them because there are other classes where we'll touch all those. Then we have edits. So this edit is used for basically inside of the design. So when you make a mistake, we have Control Z. So if your Control Z is not working, you can go to your edits and you will see undo also, which is named as Control Z. Then to redo is Control Shift Z, or repeat Control R. Then the other shortcuts to cut item, Control X, Control C is for copy, Control V is for paste. Then we duplicate also with Control D, and there's also what we call the clone, right? So you can check all these out, right? Some laptops or some keyboards, they have this extra big plus at the side. So that plus can be used as copy and paste also, right? But the recent laptops we have, I think they don't have that anymore. Then we have view. So you can, like the view, we selected enhanced. So don't change it. If you should change it to simple wireframe, your interface is going to change. And all these are just settings. We have the full screen preview where when you are done, you can preview the old stuff you've done, right? I can't go into this one because this ones are for like editing images later on, but we are not using that for now. Then here is Control N again. If you want to open new page, open a folder, save, print, all these, they have shortcuts. Whatever you want, you can do. Then export and import, export as PDF. Then here we have our zoom. If you click here down, you can say to fit, and it will fit the item you drew. To page is going to fit the page. To width is going to fit the width of the page, and to height. And you can also put your own measurements, type it in there, and it's going to give you that particular size, right? So let's go back to the page. And here, I showed you before, A4, A3, A5, whatever one you click, this page size is going to change. So if I say A4, it's going to change. So the moment you change a page size, the measurement is going to change back to millimeters every time. So you might have to change it to inches if that is the measurement you want to use, right? May I work with inches every time and every day. All right. Then here we have portrait and we have landscape. This is for all pages, current page, all pages. So whatever effect you want to be happening should be happening in all pages. But if I say, okay, if I page down to create a new page, that's what I just did now. Like there's a difference between creating a new page and working in an existing document. So if you have like a book, right, you have one book, two book, three book, and you pile them on top of each other. If you open the first book, there are going to be pages inside of them, right? Different kind of pages. Now, this is a book. This is another book. This is another book. Now, inside of this book, we can create different pages. Now, this is page one. If you want another page, you can come here and click on this plus, and we have page two. right? So this is page 1, page 2, inside of the same document. Now you can right click on this and you say insert page after, or insert page before, or you say duplicate page, or you say delete page, or you switch the orientation of the page. Now, if you don't do any of this, if you look on your keyboard, there's where you have page up, page down, page up, page down. It should be somewhere on your keyboard. So if you say page down, it's going to come up and you can click on OK. So it asks you before or after. Then you just click OK and you have extra page, right? So now we have page 1, page 2, page 3. Okay. All right. So that's basically for the interface at the top here, right? Then here we have our toolbox. So this is like the most important part of this software. Now this toolbox, any one of them you click on will determine. Does somebody have a question? Okay, nobody. Your mic is on. Please stop stressing me. I can't be coming back here to off your mic. Honorable Minister, off your mic. All right. So like I said, whatever tool you click here is going to determine how this interface is going to look right here. If I click on my pick tool, I'm going to be seeing all this, right? So this first tool here is called the pick tool. So what is the pick tool used for? It's used for selection, position, or transformation of objects. Default, if you put on the CorelDRAW, the pick tool is what you're going to see. Default is what is going to be on your screen, right? So that's why I could touch anything here. Now, the next tool underneath is the shape tool, right? The shape tool is used to edit a curve object or text character by manipulating the nodes. I know as I'm saying it now, you might not really understand what I'm saying, but we're going to put that into practice so that you really, really understand what I'm saying. Because I don't want to like pour everything today so that it wouldn't look so much on you. So that if you practice, you'll be able to like do something. Then here we have the crop tool. Basically, what does crop do? Remove the areas of outside the selection, right? So just like in your picture, you can crop out some areas out, except the one that you want to use. I don't know what's wrong with my eyes. Eyes are kind of heavy. All right. Then we have our zoom tool. So the zoom tool can be used to zoom over a particular area. You just have to draw your mouse over that particular area and it zooms to that place. So we can use our left click by tapping and you zoom in, right click, zooms out. Zoom in, zoom out. Whatsoever one you want, like that. So inside of these first 4 tools that we have touched, right, you will see like a little black arrow at the side. Now these arrows, if you tap on them, you see extra tools inside, right? Like the freehand pick tool, transform tool. They work like the pick tool also, right? This one is freehand pick tool. So look at this now. If I draw a box, I have this tool here. If I click in say pick tool, I can pick on this tool like this. You can see that it looks like a box to pick on it. Now, if I should use the freehand transform, we can't draw a box. It will look like as if I'm drawing nonsense. So we have to draw it over its. Oh my God. Okay. So it's more hard to use that. So it's better you keep it at the pick tool. So free transform also is here also. So we can transform how the box should look like. Look at that. So whatever you draw can be transformed also using the free transform tool. Wow, 1 million. Are you serious? All right. So we have our box back. So that is the pick tool. The pick tool is basically used for, like we said, is used for selection. So we can select a box. Let's say we have 2 boxes here. and I want to select one, I can tap on it using my pick tool. So the pick tool is more or less like your hand, right? So let's say you have a rack where you place your shoes in your house. You can select using your hand, touching which one you want. So I like to read like real life examples for you to understand what I'm saying. So the pick tool is like used for selection, right? So if I select this one, I can give it a color, right? If I select this one, I can give it a color also. So it depends on what you are selecting. So sometimes students make mistake where they are not touching any item and they go and select a color. And when you select that color, automatically that color becomes the preset color. So you see, you are about to change the default object color. And you mistakenly go and click on OK. If you click on OK, any item you draw will be having that color, right? So people make this mistake and they are not confused. Why? So it's just that you have made a preset color. So if you look up here, we have this particular box that doesn't have any color. Then we have black, right? So click on it back. In case you have this issue, you click on it back and you just say, okay, that's all. So any item you draw now won't have a color inside. It is just going to be blank. All right. Then this outside, you can see there's a color outside it. It can be called an outline or can be called airline. So it can be called an outline or an airline, whatsoever one. Now, this outline and airline can also be tampered with, right? So we just use left click. So if left click is for giving colors to the inside, it means that to give color to the outline will be with right click. So you see that the inside color is this and the outside color is this. So you use left click to give the item a color inside and you use right click to give color for outside. So if you're using a mouse, so I advise most times it is better to get an external mouse, either a Bluetooth mouse or even one with wire. It makes you work easier and makes your job more smooth. All right. Then I said the pick tool is used for positioning and transformation, right? So if you want to like position these items, arrange them properly. Let's say let me make copies of this. Remember I told you to copy is Control C and to paste is Control V, right? And another form of copying, which is very faster instead of Control C and V, is Control D. So Control D copies at the same time and paste for you. So you can make a lot of copies all together. So let's say all these items are scattered all over the place and you want to arrange them. We can use our pick tool. So you don't need to go back to the pick tool every time like I've been doing, right? If you look at, there's a white box around it. So it shows that it is the pick tool that is active at that point. So if there's not a white box around your particular tool, it means that that tool is not active at that point, right? So you have to make sure that you click on that tool. For example, if I click on the zoom tool now, you see that's the one that is active. If I click on the pick tool, that's the one active, right? So to arrange them properly, I advise for students to zoom in. All right. So to zoom in most times. If you want to zoom in, you can go to your zoom tool and draw over it, or zoom over the particular one you want. Zoom back anyhow. If you come here also and say fit, it's going to fit all of them. If you say to height or to selected, why we are not seeing to selected? Because you're not selected anyone. If I select this one and I say to selected, it's going to go to that particular one. All right. Now, instead of using the zoom tool every time, because myself, I don't use it most times. That's why I use external mouse. There is a scroll on the mouse. You can't see my mouse right now. Let me see if I can put on my camera. Yeah, going. I said in the beginning that I'm recording the class. It's recording, so when the recording is available, I will tell you. But please be in the class for now. Everybody knows what the mouse is, right? All right, if you don't know what the mouse is, this is the mouse. Am I even seeing myself? All right, this is a mouse. So this scroller here, if you should scroll this, it's going to help you zoom in and zoom out also. So this is your scroller. So if I should scroll in here, I can scroll in and scroll out. So instead of going back to my zoom to zoom in and zoom out, which is more stressful, it's better you use a mouse, an external mouse. So get a mouse. You can see for 1,500, 3,000, depending on the kind of mouse you want. Even 10,000 mouse, if you're going for like Logic. So we said that this tool is used for positioning and transformation of the object. So if this box is here, you can see whatever box you drew, the measurement is showing here, right? So that's why we said it's a vector-based design. So it has to do with calculations and numbers, right? So the measurement of this box is 217 by 2.306. So if I should increase this box by dragging it here, you see it becomes 7.7382306. And I can still come here and type the amount of size I want. Let's say 7 by 2. All right. So like we said, it's used for transforming the object. So when you click on this box the first time, you will have little boxes like this around it. Then we can also rotate it, right? So as you can see up here, we have this rotation stuff. If I say go 20 degrees, it can rotate 20 degrees. If I say go 100, it can go 100. Now, in case you don't want to use that, if you click on the box for the first time, you can click on it again. Then you will have stuff like this around it. Then you can rotate the box how you want. So rotation is now made easy. 0 is plain state. All right. So I'm going to keep this here. So to transform this object now, we have here now, up here, there's a round corner, there is the scalloped corner, and we have chamfered corner. So if I want to do some transformation to this box, I can come here and say, okay, make this point 0.5. See that the box immediately become curved on the edge. Like that. So we can do as much as we want. So if I duplicate this box, Control D, if I select this other one, you see how it's going to look like. Control D again, and this. So you see that. So without even doing much design itself, you have been able to achieve this, all right? Just with using the pick tool and the box tool, all right? So I can duplicate, Control D, and then bring it down. So we have what we call here, which is the mirror horizontal tool and the mirror vertical tool. So horizontal can flip it. So if I say flip, and we have that. So something like this can be used as a pattern, right? You can duplicate this easily. You can make something that can be printed on a shirt. So we're just using our box and our pick tool. We were able to do this. I'm going to restart it all over and show you why everything looks so arranged. Now, in design, the most important thing in design is not even only knowing how to use the tool. Your arrangement really matters. That's when we'll be talking about alignment very soon, right? Well, we'll not be today. I think by tomorrow, we're going to go into basic principles of designs. right? So it's one thing for you to know how to use the software. It's another thing for you to understand that in design, all your designs need to be arranged. In fact, design does not need to be complex. If your design is so complex and you are not a professional, you might create nonsense, right? So at the early stage, you can just use simple, even only a text, small box. It's not that in your design you now put fire, put flare, put everything, blah blah blah. Jesus, it's looking like a riot, right? So a very simple design with understanding of graphic design principles, which has to do with color theory, typography theory, balance, contrast, unison, alignment, composition, white spaces, negative spaces. When you get to understand all this and then you now apply them, in fact, unconsciously, you will be applying them on your design. That is, if you understand what this thing means, you wouldn't need to, okay, now I want to design. I say, yes, it's time to apply balance. No. It's when you have understood what these things are and you keep applying them. Whenever you want to design, it's not going to be hard for you. All right. It's not going to be hard for you. So you're going to like just create design easily. So let's do this stuff over again. So the first thing I did was I went to my rectangle tool. Take note of this. This is like an assignment already. I make note of a rectangle like this. Then I gave it a size of 7 by 2. I think 7 by 2 is bigger than the page. Let's just let's use 3 by 1. Or let's use 4 by 1. Yeah. So I told you that we can give boxes their sizes, right? You can increase the size of a box by dragging it at the edge here, from the back, whatsoever, everywhere, from here, or from here, or from here, any way you want, depending on you. So I'm going to Control Z back to our original size, 4 by 1. Now, instead, you can go back and draw another box, or you can simply duplicate this particular one, bring it out here, and reduce the size. So we are going to use 1 by 1. So 1 is the height. So this is also 1. The width of this is 4 inches by 1. So remember my page size is 15 by 11. So if you want to like get exactly what I did, my page size is 15 by 11. This one here is 4 by 1, and this is 1 by 1. So if I should duplicate, I have this, and duplicate also. Now we can give them a color if we want. So say black all through, remove the airlines. Nice. So if you look closely, you realize that these stuffs are not aligned just like these ones, which are on straight lines. So how did I achieve that? So if you come here now, we have a ruler here, right? These are rulers. This stuff here, they are rulers. If I should drag this ruler downwards like this, you will realize that, okay, this stuff is not arranged properly. You see it's cutting down. So these are one of the things you need to. So I've seen some people made wonderful design, but they don't check out for all these stuffs. So you end up making a good design that look fine, but everything is not arranged. So all the creativity and the design is in the details, right? So how do you now get this to be aligned? If you want to go through this manual labor, when you've drawn the line, you can now click on the item and move it up yourself. Now, how do you move it up? You use your mouse, right? With left click. So you tap on the object with left click, and then you hold the left click down and you can move the box upwards. If you don't want to do that, let's say it's so downwards, you can use your keyboard. They are the arrows that push stuff up and down. So if I click on up, it keep moving it upwards, right? Now, that would be very, very stressful. Let's say you have a whole lot of box and you want to arrange all of them. The best thing to do is to go to your pick tool, right? Draw a box over everything like this. Now we have a shortcut in our keyboard. They are just letters, letter T, letter P, letter B, letter E, and C. I'll tell you what they mean. So letter T means top. So if I want everything here to align at the top, if I click on letter T, everything aligns at the top immediately. If I want them to align at the bottom, I click B. It's still the same thing. Why we are seeing them aligning the same way? Because they have the same height. Remember, I gave everybody 1. Look at it. The height is 1, 1, 1, 1. So they are looking equal. So let's say this one is bigger and it's downwards. And we say B. You see that? We say T. It's going to be different, right? So TB, TB. All right. So stuff like that. So that is the way I was able to arrange them properly. That's the first arrangement. So now that is for top and bottom. Now let's say left and right. So let's say this one is here, and I want it to be aligned to the left of this other item. All I need to do is click on this one and hold shift and tap on this one, and I click letter L. It's going to align to the left. So definitely they are on the same line. So I told you the first time, to hold items, we can use the mouse to draw over every one of them, right? You can do that. But if you don't want to do that, you can use another shortcut, which is clicking on the items one after the other. If I click on this box, I'll hold shift. I'll click on this one also. I've hold 2 of them together. So if I click on L, they go to the left. Now realize something. The item you click first is the one that is going to move. So if I click on this one and I click on this, I say L, the one at the top moves to where this one is. So meaning if the one I want to align to have to be the one I click last. So I tap on this one and I hold shift and tap on this and I say L, it goes there. If I say R, it moves to there. Now, C is for center. Now, if I say C, it comes to the center. Now, we'll say, okay, this is arranging centrally, horizontally, right? So what in a scenario or in a case where this stuff is like this, right? So we say all this with this, and we say T for top, B for bottom, T for top, B for bottom. So now we don't want it to be aligned centrally. So if we use C for here, we hold here and we say C is at the center, right? All are we going to use when we are coming vertically? Yeah, we're going to use letter E. Even in Microsoft Word, E is used to represent center also. So we'll tap and hold this. So if I say E, it comes to the center. As simple as that. So we'll say C for center, E for center auto, but it's a different kind of centralization. So E is for when you're coming vertically, then C is for when you're doing horizontally, right? So that was how I was able to arrange these elements, that everything looked arranged. So then I curved the edges. Now I told you that we have 3 kind of edges here. We have the one that is called the rounded corner, and we have scalloped corner, and we have what? The chamfered corner. Now, if I should come here and I say scallop rounded corner and I give it 0.5, the whole edge is going to round at the same time. So if we say 0.2, you see that it's different. So maybe we should use 0.3. Let me see how 0.3 is going to look like. 0.3. Okay. So if we now do the same thing here, 0.3 is going to happen to it. Everything is going to be the same. But different designs, we're going to select this, it's going to change, select this, it's going to change. So depending on what you are designing for, and you will be able to achieve this. So when I'm done with this, we can select all this and group it. So to group items is called Control G. So if I select all of them, draw my mouse over them, I can select them. You can now please hold on. Okay, so to group, like I told you, there are different ways of selecting items. You can hold your shift button, then keep tapping on every item you want. That's one way. Or you can draw your mouse over them. Now, when we've done that, draw over them, you group Ctrl G. Now we can now reduce the size, duplicates like this. All right. So I told you the duplication button is Ctrl D, as D means Ctrl D, duplicate. So if I click Ctrl D, I can have another one and place here. As simple as that. Now, if you're not using Ctrl D, you can use your mouse also. I like to show you different ways of doing this stuff. If I say Ctrl C, I've copied, right? Then paste Ctrl V, which is copy and paste. We'll bring it out. Now, without using Ctrl C, without using Ctrl D, without using plus, you can use your mouse to duplicate. So if my mouse, if I should click on right click and drag the item outside, it's going to ask me, do you want to move it here or do you want to copy here? If I say copy here, I have another copy. As simple as that, right? So we can now hold them and make sure that they are aligned. So we'll click on letter E. So vertically is letter E. Remember what I said? To align to the center vertically, you can say letter E. But since they are of same size, you can just use B or T, anyone. So Ctrl G, and then we duplicate, Ctrl D, turn it around, bring it down. So if you are not sure that it is arranged properly, you hold it all together and say L, simple as that, Ctrl G, or C, anyone. Now that's not all. I'm going to delete this ones to height. So let's say I want to bring this stuff to the center of my page and I'm not sure that it's at the center of the page. I can just duplicate. Let's keep duplicating. Let me make more. So now that I've made more, you see that it's slanty. You can see that they are not arranged. So we can select everything by clicking Ctrl A, then say C is arranged. Then we'll group them. So now I want to bring this to the center of the page. Let's say to page. All I can do is click on the items and click on letter P on my keyboard, and it comes to the center of my page. So now we have everything arranged properly. So yeah, I'm going to go to my text tool, and I'm going to write my name. So this text tool here is used for typing, add and edit paragraph. So I'm going to type. So I'm going to just put my name there. Wow, got Joshua. So when you type, the default font here is Arial, right? So we'll be using Arial for now until when we are ready to change. And just put your name on it, just the same way I did now. And we're going to type underneath it. Let's just write shapes, or what should we call it? Introduction to design. So as you can see, the texts are aligned to the left. So I want it to be aligned to the center. So we'll go to our text tool here, this horizontal alignment, and we'll say center. All right. So these texts now, they are together. So whatever I do to them, like increasing of font size, is going to increase together. Now we can also use our text tool, which is the letter A, and highlight over this particular one. We should know what highlight is if you have used Microsoft Word. Just highlight. Then we can go down here and say, okay, you don't be the same number. You be 18, you be this, you be that. Whatsoever way you want to do that, right? Now, if you don't want to do that, we can also break the text for them to be different entities. Now, to break text, we use the shortcut which is called Control K. Control and K. I'm just telling you all these shortcuts because as time keeps going on, when I'm starting designing properly, I may not be saying, okay, this is the shortcut I use. So if I do some stuff, okay, this is what it did. So that's why I'm saying All these ones that I'm saying are not in my notes. You can write them down. Control K is for breaking of text apart. So if I click on this and I say Control K, I can now operate separately. I can touch them separately. If you still press Control K here again, bam, you're going to break them separately again. See them again, 1, 2, 3. Then if you say Control K here, you can touch each text by themselves. You can even delete each text, right? So we are not doing up to that extent. So I want to unbold this one. And instead of using their own size here, you can type your own size you want. So I'll use 20. You can make this one to be 30. I don't want it to be so big. All right, so you see that the text was a bit tilted to this side. So we want to be sure that everything is, because we are using a centralized arrangement. So we can draw over everything, or we can just say Control A and click C. Everything will be centralized. Then we'll click on Control G to group everything. Now the reason I'm grouping is because I want it to be at the center of the page. So I'm going to click on letter P, and there we have it. So you see everything grouped here. You can see the size here. The size is 9.678 by 9.13. So I can easily, so if you want to make this into an image now, if I should export this image, right? The next thing I'll do is to export it. So if I should click on export, which is this, export, then I'm going to go to your document. You're going to look for that file, C12, assignments. So we'll say C12 design class. You put a dash. We say day one. Day one. So you just type it like this: C12 design class day one. Then don't use PNG. Change it to JPEG, and you click on export. So if you click on export, you're going to now hold on. Now, sometimes I don't wait for this, but if you wait for this, the reason I wait for you to see, look at this. You see that what they are going to send out is going to cut from where your item stopped, right? Where the box is stopped is what is going to stop, what is going to be exported. Now, to avoid this, I prefer to draw a box, right? Like draw a box around the item that you designed. So since the page is like, I'm going to just make my box maybe 10 by 10, right? If I say P also, I think 10 by 10 is looking a bit too close. Let's say 11 by 10. Let's leave 11 by 10. So just like this. So now this box that I drew now is on top of this image. How do I know? If I give it a color, it's going to cover the whole image, right? So please don't give it a color. But I know some people might still want to do this. Don't give it a color. Just leave it empty. Now, let's say, for instance, it has a color. How do you solve this issue? You're going to send the image to the back of the other items. Now, we're going to use what we call shift page down. Now, I told you about page down. Page down is to change pages, right? As you can see, my page are changing. Page 1, page 2, page 3. So if I click on page down, my pages are changing. Now, shift page down is different from page 1, page 2, page 3. Now, if I want this to go down, all I need to do is click on shift and page down together. So if you look on your keyboard, you're going to see the shift button and you're going to see the page down button. So if I click on shift page down, it goes to the back. Simple. It's just like in Photoshop where we have layers, right? Where you drag a layer to the front and another layer to the back. So here, shift page up, it goes up, shift page down, it goes down. Now you can see that black is not really showing properly on this blue. That is another story for another day when we start talking about contrast in color, right? So what I want here is white. I did not send you to give color. I know I'm saying this. Some people like to do more than they accept. They'll go and give it color to show that they know how to use color. The background should be white and the objects we are using are black on top of it because we are just doing introduction to design, right? So don't go and stress yourself trying to prove a point. I will not clap for you. All right, so I have my name here as 20, introduction to design. Maybe make this on 20 SF. Let's make your name big. Yeah. I think it's too big, SF 25. So you can preview like this. So if you say to select to fit, right? So this box now, it has an airline, right? Or an outline. So you can see it here. So we can remove the outline if we want by coming here and right click. I've told you that before. Or we can come here and say none. And it has gone. Now we're going to now export this time. So if we click on export, it's already in the assignment. So, but let me take the step again. So you people understand again. In case your file doesn't take it to your file directly, you click on document, look for the folder, C12, assignment, right? So we say C12 design class minus, his name is day one, so that you can know all the things you did every day. This is it. So now you can see the difference. That you have spaces at the edge. It's not cutting on your name, right? So that's the reason why we drew a box at the background. Then at this page, there's no point changing anything here. But in your own screen, if you're using CorelDRAW for the first time, this quality might be at 80. So you can increase it to 100 so that you have very good quality. The blur should be at 0. No need changing it. Then we say OK. PM. So after we say OK, we have that. So if you go to you want to see it, you go to your document. I know I'm taking this step so that people won't say they didn't know where everything is. So C12, assignments, this is the assignment, right? It's now a picture format. So you can now send it in the WhatsApp group. So send in WhatsApp group, say, my assignment for today, right? And apart from that, like we've been saying, we want you guys on LinkedIn, right? So you say, hi everyone, I've started learning graphic designing, and this is my first assignment I was asked to do today. Then you tag Coca-Cola and tag the DCEP Foundation on LinkedIn. All right. And if you find me on LinkedIn, you can also tag me also. And we can make comments on that. So this is like basically introduction. We have not really gone deep. And I'm going to make one more thing and we are going to round up the class. Right. So here where we basically dwelt on today was just on pixel. So you can see how long we spent just explaining and describing the pixel, what the pixel can do or cannot do. So before the class started, I told you guys that basically all your designs, everything is done with my graphic designer. All right. So everything here can be redesigned, right? So we are going to like try to redesign something here on our screen. So we're going to redesign this chat box and these people, and I don't have enough. This 45 minutes. Let's see. Okay. Let me just screenshot it. I'm going to screenshot my screen, which is print screen. And with print screen, I have copied my screen. So I'm going to go to the next page, which is page down. And paste Ctrl V. Oh, that's not being copied. It's Windows 10 and you have strengths. All right. So let me import it since it's decided to save. So I'm going to like just do basically simple things here, and we'll move on for the end of the class. So let's try and recreate. So this is like I told you, this is the shape tool. We can use it and trace out pictures also. So it's just this up aspect I want to just recreate. So the reason I'm doing this is so that the class, you look forward to it. Say, okay, well, we didn't make only just boring stuff today. So here we have the chat icon, right? So if every designer have different way they can approach stuff, right? This is, for me, this is a circle, and this is like a line here. So I can basically just draw a circle down here. I don't think we have enough time to attempt this hand. Hand might take a lot of our time. So here I'm going to like look for a triangle. So inside of CorelDRAW, we don't have a triangle. What we have is polygon. So if I go to my polygon, I can reduce this to like level 3, right? We are not talking about that now, so don't really stress about it. So then I have a triangle here. So I can bring it inside of it like this and rotate as I want. So I like to give this like equal size 0.4. So now we have what we call a merge tool. So if I should click on all these items together, here we have merge or weld. If I click on weld, they become one family. Capish? I guess we are done with that. So we just go back to our box tool. Just draw a straight box. Draw another one. So this stuff looks thick, very thick. So I'll increase the airline. Then underneath the row chart, I think that's all. We can see that basically everything you're having on your phone, everything was done by a designer. It might not be this software they used, but you can basically recreate everything, right? So another of our assignment today, apart from that stuff that I just exported, right? I want you guys to look for designs that people did that you find fascinating, right? And bring it to the class. I'll give you time to like share with us what you feel about the design. That's what we'll start with tomorrow. Then let's do this one. So this is just a circle at the top. Equal size 0.2 by 0.2. So you might wonder, okay, how are we going to achieve this one at the bottom here? It is very, very simple, all right? So if we should have this box here, remember when we were covering these edges, so remember there's a stuff here that's called edit corners together. So if I should unlock this edit corners together and I give this place like 0.1, only this edge is going to curve. If I do the same thing here, 0.1 also. All right. So only this edge is going to curve. So I'm looking at this, it's like this portion is looking a bit too straight. So we can add a box here if we want to. And weld it. I don't think that's what they did there. I'm not really seeing what they did there properly. Convert that to a curve and yes. Looking too pixelated. 2.0. Remember what I said? I said I was going to skip that hand. We don't have enough time. So we're going to skip the hand. It is not be as if we cannot do it. Tomorrow we'll try and we're going to try and do it tomorrow. But for now, I don't have enough. If I should do that, we're already at 4:52 and we have just less than 8 minutes left. So we have like eyes inside that eye also. So even this icon that I'm drawing now, this particular eyes, that's smiley and stuff, we have it inside here. But when we start doing deeper exploration of the CorelDRAW tool, you're going to like see how this stuff is being achieved. This guy should hold on. I need to attend to somebody. Okay, let's finish this and we're done. Here we have like mouth. So I'm going to use the freehand tool. By tomorrow we'll understand more of the freehand tool. Just draw a straight line instead. So the straight line, I'm going to curve it. Convert to a curve. Like I said, don't stress yourself over this. We have not really touched all this yet. Then here we have React. I think I'll stop here. So that you guys can go and rest. We have 6 minutes more. So you can see that basically everything we have here are what can be redesigned, right? But you just need to like understand the tools. So if you understand the tools, you'll be able to redesign it. So we just introduced design today, what graphic design is, what CorelDRAW is, and why we're using it, because it is a vector-based design software. And designs like this that I just made are what we call vector designs, right? They are vector designs. So we'll finish this up and I will go back to it by the end of our class also, because there's a different topic for tomorrow, which is going to have to deal with the freehand tool. So you just saw me use the freehand tool right now to draw a line, right? And you can also realize that the freehand tool can be used in various ways by using the shape tool, right? So we'll learn how to like create a whole lot of stuff using the freehand tool by tomorrow. So with this few point of mine, I hope I'll be able to convince and not confuse or whatever one that graphic design is for you. All right. So remember to do this, export it, turn it to an image, and submit in your WhatsApp group. So I'm going to be sending mine. I'm going to be sending mine to the WhatsApp group right now. And if you have questions, you can drop it in our chat box, or you can check back inside of our WhatsApp group. And here's our group. This is not yours. It will. Are you serious? Is this not my group? I'll send it via my phone. What is this guy telling me you can only send? Okay. So for those of you who have WhatsApp on your system, you can send it directly, or you can send it to your phone when you're done. I'm going to send this via Bluetooth to my phone and I'm going to submit it in the group. I want to do it here in class. We still have 4 minutes left.
I can't comment on the WhatsApp group. Sorry.
I think somebody locked the group. I'm going to open it right now.
And sorry, please, how if you could please recap or on the group how we can download this the CorelDRAW to enable us
Okay.
with the assignment.
Like I said, the video was recorded. So everything I said about how to install it will also be on the video. I thought that this guy opened the group. Let me open the group permission.
Sorry, please. I didn't get the assignment correctly. Can you just type it out on the group?
Check the group. I just sent the assignment. I said you should recreate this stuff that I did, this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just do everything I did so that we should have, okay, you really understood what I did today. Please, you have from today see 2:59 p.m. tomorrow, please. Even though I have like 5 or 10 persons, let somebody just try and do the assignment. Please try and do it. All right. So good. Is it good night? I'll be good evening. Or whatever one. So I have a good day.
Are you
You're
sending
still
the
at work.
video today?
Yeah, I'll try to send the video today or first thing in the morning. Or the video should come in. Any other question?
Yes.
But
Yes, we need the
also,
video.
that is your question too.
Yes.
With the way I've
So that
explained
we can
before,
go through it.
don't worry, you'll go through it. With the way I've
I'm just
explained before,
particular about how the shape changed. That's why I need the video, sir.
which shoe?
Shape. I didn't get
Okay.
how those shapes changed, so I missed that part.
Let me quickly do it. If you draw this box like this, you might, I know that you might still forget, but let me just do it one more time. So if you draw this box this way, I said here, we have these shapes here. If I should type years, this stuff should be locked. Ensure that it's locked. 0.2 is going to affect all the edges of the shape, all the edges. So if you should duplicate this one, just duplicate this. If you tap on this, it's going to change to this. If you duplicate this again, tap on this, it's going to change to this. That's just it. But don't worry, the video will be made available today. So I have to go off now. I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right? God willing. So have a wonderful night's rest. Or if you don't sleep at night, anyone, bye-bye.
Thank
Please be on time
sir.
tomorrow. I don't
Thank
want
you,
to
sir.
call you in your group. Yeah, thank you.